Let's talk about two-spirit, okay? Two-spirit is a term used within some indigenous communities which encompasses cultural, spiritual, sexual, and gender identity, okay? Now, the term was coined in the 1990s at an Indigenous Lesbian and Gay International Gathering in Winnipeg, and it was specifically chosen to distinguish and distance Native American First Nations people from non-Native peoples. Okay? Now, I do want to take a minute and call out that a lot of times two-spirit is confused with gay or lesbian. Okay? Now, gay or lesbian is about attraction to a person of the same sex, but two-spirit is more about the embodiment of two genders residing within one person. Okay? And don't forget that it also comes with the spirituality. It comes with the cultural aspects of indigenous peoples. Okay? It reflects the complex indigenous understandings of gender roles, spirituality, and the long history of sexual and gender diversity in indigenous cultures. Okay? I do also, one more thing to call out. Individual terms and definitions and roles for two-spirit people are specific to each nation. Now, two-spirit indigenous people existed long before now, okay? Research shows that before the white man took everything, there were more than 150 different pre-colonial Native American tribes that acknowledged third genders in their communities. Okay? But as part of the colonization process, the Western religious values and belief systems were imposed on indigenous people. It condemned any sort of sexual or gender diversity. Okay? And because of that, many two-spirit people were killed or forced into assimilation and hiding. Okay? Because you have to remember that Christian European colonizers condemned same-sex relationships and gender variance as sinful. And then they used these beliefs to further dehumanize indigenous peoples. Okay? Now, one of the many lasting impacts of colonization, aside from the attempted genocide of an entire people, yep, bitter. But one of the lasting impacts on two-spirit people is an increased level of homophobia and transphobia within many indigenous communities. White patriarchy, the gift that keeps on giving. Yeah, you know what? I tried, y'all. I tried not to lose it, but I'm about to lose it. I do not understand how white settlers had the audacity to come to a country that was not theirs and impose their wills, impose their style, impose their belief onto the people who were already living here. And I know why. Because it was different. Because they didn't understand. So instead of trying to understand, they wiped it out, or they tried to wipe it out. That's the solution. When people do not understand, they become afraid. And when they become afraid, they lash out at the thing that they do not understand. And they almost kill it. Almost being the operative word. Because our Native American, our indigenous brothers and sisters are reclaiming their past, okay? They are taking it back. Many two-spirit individuals, many two-spirit people were forced from their homes due to the legacy that is the white patriarchy, the legacy of homophobia and transphobia. Many two-spirit people left because they didn't have a choice. But they are reclaiming the traditional roles and values placed on two-spirit people's gifts. And it's part of a larger healing process, taking place within indigenous communities. They are putting back together what the white settlers took.